Cinderella Adaptation Stories, a reflection of 3 Cinderella adaptations by Jessica Martinez. 3 stories I'll be comparing for the Cinderella adaptations are The Caporushes by Joseph Jacobs, Walt Disney's Cinderella, and Cinderella by the Brothers Grimm. The first one is Cinderella by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm that was written in 1857. Cinderella's safe place where she goes to cry is in her mother's grave. This later becomes a place where the birds hear her cry and help her with her desires. Even though Cinderella is faced with ridicule and is mistreated, she remains noble and does as her stepsisters and stepmother please. Cinderella is not allowed to go to the ball, but because she did just as her mother told her and remained pious and good, she got a dress and was able to attend. The stepsisters went to extreme measures to fit the gold shoe. One cut off their big toe and the other cut their heel so that they could fit in the shoe. At Cinderella's wedding, the stepsisters attended, and as punishment for being cruel to Cinderella, the pigeons poked out both of their eyes. The second story is Caporushes by Joseph Jacobs. This is an English fairy tale that was published in 1890. In this story, Caporushes was one of the 3 sisters that was dismissed from her home when her father asked her how much she loved him, and she answered, "As much as fresh meat loves salt." Her father, not realizing how bad fresh meat tasted without salt, sent her away. She made a cloak and a hood from rushes, and she put it on top of her beautiful dress, and then later she took off the cloak and went to the dance where she met the master's son. She did not need a fairy godmother or birds to help her with her dress because she had one from when she lived at home with her father. She received a ring from the master's son on the 3rd day of the dance. The master's son became ill because he could not find his love, but when he found the ring in the gruel that the cook brought up, he was eager to find out who had made the gruel. Caporushes went up and revealed herself to him, and then they got married. For their wedding dinner, Caporushes told the cook to not put any salt in the meat. The cook obeyed her wishes, and when her father tasted it, he started crying. When asked why, he answered that his daughter had told him that she loved him as much as fresh meat loves salt, and he thought that she did not love him, but now realizes that she did. Caporushes revealed herself to her father and hugged him. Then they lived happily ever after. So this well-known classic Walt Disney Cinderella story from 1950 is the next story that I'll be reflecting on. Cinderella faces tragedy when her mom dies, father remarries, and then her father passes away. The stepmother and the 2 stepdaughters are jealous of Cinderella and mistreat her. Cinderella befriends the animals, which then help her with their needs. Her cry is heard, and a fairy godmother appears to make her torn dress into a beautiful white gown with glass slippers. Then she turns a pumpkin into a carriage. The mice has her horses and is now able to go to the ball. Cinderella takes off running and leaves the glass slipper behind when it is midnight. The stepmother is persistent in making Cinderella's life miserable and locks her in the attic when the Duke is having the stepsisters try on the glass slippers. She also trips him when she realizes that Cinderella is free, so the glass slipper breaks. But persistence goes both ways. The mice free Cinderella, and she is able to provide the other glass slipper and is a perfect match. So some similarities for the Cinderella adaptations are that all 3 Cinderellas came from a wealthy background. They were the maids in the story who were forced to live a life of poverty. They all had inner and outer beauty. They were all very humble and obedient. They all kept their identity hidden from the Prince Charming. And there was something that was left behind that reunited the couple at the end of the story. Some differences are that in Caporushes, the father was still alive. He did not have a stepmother or stepsisters. She was not mistreated and she was not forced to clean. She had her own dress. A gold ring was given to Caporushes instead of leaving behind the glass slipper. And then for the Walt Disney Cinderella movie, Cinderella's father dies and the mother dies. The fairy godmother turns her torn dress into a beautiful gown. The glass slippers were left behind, and the glass slipper breaks. So, and then for the Brothers Grimm Cinderella story, the father does not defend Cinderella. The father's he's more on the stepmother and stepsister's side. The birds give Cinderella her dresses for her 3 dances. The prince sets a trap for Cinderella where she then gets her gold slipper stuck and then she leaves it behind. Um, and this in this story, the stepsisters they cut off their parts of their foot so they could fit the slipper, which is way different from any other story, Cinderella story that there is out there. This is my works cited page, and this also concludes my Cinderella adaptation reflection. Thank you.